3, 2, 1. Wow. Welcome back, GSN followers. Got another project today. I'm getting real antsy without a CB base station up, so I got a temporary fix. I bought one of these wire antennas off of eBay, and it's an 11-meter dedicated dipole, and it didn't show on here which wire was the radiating element and which one was the reflective element. So I just got a little multimeter. I put it to ohms. I put the black pin on the center connector, and then I took the red one, and because these are open at the end, I just touched it to each one until I saw my continuity. And then I colored the one that matched the center connector. I colored that red. And then the one that matched the threads on the outside of this SO239. I think that's SO239. I colored that one black. So now I know this one is the reflector. My initial goal was to make this into an inverted V. But my trees around my house are not that conducive to, there's too many branches. So what I'd like to do is make this a vertical dipole. So even though this was meant to be hung from here, it's going to be hung from its radiating element, the one I colored red. So it's going to be hung like this. And these aren't super heavy anyway. But I will, because it's not meant to be in this direction, I'm just going to hit this with some glue, hot glue gun, just where these wires match up in there. And under here, I'll just hit them with a little bit extra. I don't think it really needs strain relief because it's really sturdy, actually, the way this is built. And we're going to shoot it up into a tree. I'm going to tie it off at the bottom. We're going to hook up some coax. I got some length of just some RG8X here, and we're going to run that in the bedroom window because I don't want to do anything too permanent with this setup, because eventually I'd like another ground plane. But this will get me back on the air in the short term, and I got some real fun toys to do it this time. I'm not getting on the roof. I'm not going to kill myself. So I got this big Shot Slingshot. I don't know if you've seen these. These are awesome. These arborist. You put this is a Forester sandbag, and there's some Forester line. It's supposed to be real slick. And you put this baggie in here, you let all this slack out so it can spool out. You hook it up to this trigger. I'll show you this. This is pretty awesome. You pull that down to sit in this trigger, right? You turn it away from your face. You put on some protection. And then they got this shield. This is like a chainsaw arborist lumber guy's hat, and has that screen mesh. And then you turn this away from your face so it doesn't accidentally hit you in the mouth. And then you flip this trigger up, and then you pull this trigger down, and it'll shoot that that baggie up and over. Hopefully it lands in between the two branches that I want it to. And then I will take off the beanbag. I'll take this off, connect my radiating element to that, pull it up to where I want it, then tie it off on the bottom of the tree, which I'll just put this little guy towards the bottom of the tree where I'll loop the string through, and I'll hook it up to this little night ties carabiner where you can put the rope through. I'll tie it up tight, and then this carabiner can be clipped to this, which I'll just screw to the tree with some decking screws. And then, just because the connection in the coax is, I don't know, it's just out in the elements. Of course, I'm going to hit that with some coax seal, maybe some electrical tape around that. And that's really it, guys. It's a pretty simple project. I always say it's going to take me 10 minutes, and it takes me like 3 or 4 hours. This, I just want to get some glue in there. Just in case. I'm doing this with one hand, of course. Get some more on this side. Just want a little extra waterproofing, just in case. Some more on this side. And down here. That's it. Just wanted to give it a little extra. Well, this is the best angle I could get. Right underneath the tree. Not a good idea. It's real close to my house. So I'm on the back deck, and I'm going to try to shoot this bag up and over, I guess, the nearest set of branches here. It's not going to be pretty. Let's give this a try. They said put this baggie on the underside and the slingshot away from you, and the trigger away from you. So now that the Forester baggie's in there, I'm going to pull this down until it hits this trigger. All right. See that? Now there's a secondary safety trigger that when you flip that forward, it's active, and then you can pull this trigger and it'll fire. So let's just not hit my house. Get this aimed properly. See how high a branch I can hit. Let's get the string out of my way. And unraveled as much as possible. I don't know why this makes me nervous. All right, I'm going to flip the trigger up. It's now active, ready to be fired. At least I thought it was. All right, now we're ready. Let's see what we can do. That didn't work at all. Let's try that again, shall we? I don't know where it went wrong. Hopefully I got it on camera. We'll try this again. We'll pull it down to the trigger. We will lift the safety. And go! Not nearly enough. So what I'm gonna do, see this trigger? You can just unclamp this trigger and lower it for more tension. So that's what I'm gonna do. I guess I'll just show you. So you can flip this open, and then this piece actually pulls out. You can lower this. I'll just do another foot. Just make sure the trigger's in the right direction. And then you fold it back into place. There it is. I'll gather that all up and we'll try for round 2. All right, trying for round 2. Surprisingly, it did get pretty high in the tree, even though it looked like it was just a dud. Now that with the lowered trigger, we're gonna try it again. So I got the baggie in there. I'm gonna grab both cords and come down. All right, we're in the trigger. All right, I'm aimed away from the house. The string is free. Make sure the beanbag is where it needs to be. All right, I'm gonna lift the safety. See how high we can get. 3, 2, 1. Wow! That got up there. Damn! I'm actually really happy with that. That thing kicks ass. I got it way up there and it fell all the way to the ground. Perfect. Woohoo! This thing's badass. I just needed to lower the trigger some. Well, I'm going to put my tie off somewhere where I can reach easily. Down here towards the bottom of the tree. There we go. That's not going anywhere. All right, now here's my little sandbag dolly, and it's way up in that tree is where it arches over. What I'm going to do, I could just, it's temporary, so I could just use that line, but I also have this 1/8 inch polyester low stretch nylon rope, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to tie this, and then we're going to pull back this in its place and utilize this instead of that. I'll show you. I'm going to tie them to each other. That's good enough. I don't want any huge knots or anything because it's going to go up in between the trees. All right, so now we're going to send this up. And once I get my cord back, so once I get this back, then I can hook up the antenna to this cord and then just keep on pulling. So here's the slack, and as I pull this, that's going to come back to me. It gets way out of view, so I'm just going to do that off camera. All right. See, I'm pulling this. That's unrolling there. All right. We got our throw line back. Then I'm going to attach the antenna radiating element to this. Actually, I'm going to not do that. What I'm going to do is I don't like where the other end is. The other end is actually kind of close to my house. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that. I'm going to attach my radiating element to that part, and I'm going to pull it up there because that kind of goes in between, kind of far away from my house. but this part is like 20 feet closer, and it's actually close to my house. So I'm going to connect it to that part, and it'll follow all the way up in there, and that's where I'll leave it. So what I'll do is cut this bad boy. And we're done with all that. I'm going to take these, unravel them, and take our radiating element. Here. And I could have used I have dog bone connectors and stuff for my my other G5 RV variant, but I'll just have some good knots pulled in this, and this will not become part of the radiating element because it's nylon. I'll just make sure it's a good knot in there. That's pretty good, actually. That'll hold it. So now I'm going to go reverse. I'm going to pull back where it's connected to here. I'm going to pull it till it comes up off the ground, and then I'm going to connect our coax, and I'm going to connect the nano VNA. I'm going to check the SWRs before I go all the way up, see if I need to trim that at all. So let's see. Of course, we're going to have to discombobulate that cord first. All right, so there's my coax connection here. So that coax ended up being too short, so luckily I had another piece of a 100-foot RG8X. So we're going to hook that one up. All right, hooking up my 100-footer because the 50-footer was too short. I'll have to do the same damn thing with that coaxial and the electrical tape. This is some of the leftover from the last one, which was so messy. All right, there's a little bit left in there actually. Now I'll hit that coaxial with some electrical tape. All right. Let's try this again, shall we? There's much more tension with all this weight and lines and coax on it on the way up. And I didn't think of this till just now. I'd like to tie the other end of the antenna off to this so I can pull tension on it, because it's just coiling up on me. Vertical dipole. Not going to be pretty, but it's temporary. Just trying to get back on the air. There we go, and then that'll pull all its slack from my 500-foot roll, and I can tie that off too. All right, so I'm going to tug on this one as that goes up in the air, and we'll just try to keep it from getting tangled as it goes up, like this. Well, I got some high SWRs at 2.3 on the lower half of the band. I'm sorry, at the lower end at 26.973, and then even higher at 2.7 at 27.405. So I got to bring that down and cut it down a little bit. All right. I actually had to fold back or retie some extra length at the top of my dipole. It was way out of whack, like SWRs at 2.7 and 2.4. So I got the middle of the band at, what is this, 27.1 at 1.0, and it's fluctuating a little bit because it's blowing in the wind, and it's a 100-foot coax, so it's going back and forth. I think when I get this inside, I have to redo the connector and cut some coax back, but it's roughly, looks like it's moving now. But yeah, it's going back and forth, but it was in the middle of the band a second ago. Yeah, so it's just the wind blowing. We got a storm coming. So it looks like in the middle of the band, I got it around 1.0. And let's see, 1.2 at 26.965. And 1.188 at 27.405. And yes, I did calibrate this Nano VNA just prior to this. But yeah, I think that actually might get even better when I cut the coax back when I get it in the window. And I'll hook it up for now, but I will shorten it probably later this week. Pretty happy with it. Well, I learned a lot. In the short term, it's pretty much a failure. In the long term, I gained a lot of knowledge from this. So I tied off both the rope and that was a loop over the top branches, and I made them both taut against that tree. That's the coax I have strung across here behind that gutter and just in the window. It's just temporary. But what I learned was, when I was testing the SWRs, I got it up off the ground, I put it on the Nano VNA, it was 1.0. But that's because the coax was strung off to the side. As I lifted the antenna higher, the coax followed. And I wanted this to be a vertical dipole. But apparently the reflective element and the coax really do not like to be next to one another. Hence, the inverted V with the coax coming right down the middle is ideal. So my SWR went from 1.0 to, when it got up to the top of the tree, it went to like 2.8. It went off the, like, I'm not happy with that. So I just pulled it even farther until it looped over a branch and kind of gave a little bit of a V configuration just over the branch. And the SWR dropped to 1.8. So it's better than 2.8. It's not ideal. It's just these trees and getting the inverted V here would be a nightmare. It's too much going on. Well, it's really hard to see this. I ran the coax in the window. It's to the back of the amp and to the radio I haven't used in a while. And it was 1.8 on the nano, but this is 100 foot of coax. It's tons of loss. It's loss at the coax in the tree and how it's next to the element. It's just all around no good. This is a best I can get. Not good, but watch. SWR. 2.6, 1.8. It was 2.6 a minute ago. See, 2.3. It's all over the place. Not happy with it, but that's the best I can get with this real rookie-dook setup I got. But I learned a lot. Learned a lot with the that slingshot and how these dipoles are run, because this is my first one. Let's see if I can hear anyone local. Let's see. Audio check, audio check.
I believe that roadblock out there, White Dog waving at you.
Hey there, White Dog. Yeah, this is a roadblock on the base station. I threw up a I had to take my old antenna down, but I threw up a dipole, and it was a kind of a nightmare situation. But my SWRs are all over the place because the coax is next to the reflective element, and I just wanted to give it a try. The SWRs are like 2.3, 1.8, 2.6. They're all over the place, but I'm just pushing 1 watt right now out of the base station. So yeah, you're always coming in strong. How's it going there, White Dog?
Shoot, man, over here doing good. Yeah, I ain't but throwing about 50 watts myself your way, but yeah, we so close it don't matter. Shoot, sounding good over here, regardless of the SWRs. But yeah, that's a little high, Timbo.
Yeah, my man, I got this slingshot, and if you ever need it, man, you holler at me. It's like a stick with a slingshot attached to it at the end, and you put a beanbag and a rope on it, and you sling that over a tree, and then pull the antenna back up over it. It's pretty sweet, but it can get real sloppy with all these wires attached to, the ends and the radiating elements and whatnot.
Hey, 10-4, I figured that damn antenna I helped you put up was damn gonna be there forever, is what I thought. Dang.
Yeah, I know. It broke my heart. I had to put this gazebo up on the porch, and it was a 20 foot by 12 foot. It literally took up 3/4 of my porch. So I was unable to, how we had to put it up, we had hinged it, and it wouldn't have made it halfway down without hitting the roof of this gazebo. And it's one of those permanent gazebos drilled into the deck and everything with a metal galvanized roof. So it's not like something I could take up and take down. It took me 4 days to put together. It's an absolute nightmare. But yeah, dude, I mean, obviously I appreciate you helping me, but it's on to the next one. I still have it and everything, and I'd like to upgrade it. But for the short term, I just wanted to sling a wire antenna in a tree and see how it talked.
Well, it's definitely talking, no doubt about it. All right, man, I tell you, I don't want to be the one that cause you to burn your radio up too much talking on high SWRs, but sounding good, no doubt. All right, we'll be over here listening.
I appreciate you, White Dog, as always. I'll holler at you. This is a roadblock on the side. All right, I did make a little adjustment. What I did was, instead of having my antenna pulled up in the tree in the middle, I spun it around from the outside where I shot the slingshot arcing in. So I slung it around that side, so the coax, it had a chance to kind of come more perpendicular to the dipole, and so it helped with my SWRs a bit. So 1.8, it's better than 2.3 and 2.8. I'll take that for now. I hear somebody in there. Audio check. Yeah, this here is Roadblock. I hear you in the weeds a little bit. Oh, how's it going out there, Nailbender? I heard you the other day, but I don't know if you heard me. I'm doing a radio check. I'm going to do it on a video, and I wanted to get a GPS, like, you know, grid, and try to track how far this connection is here. What are you by the airport there on 278? Oh, you're at a truck stop in Ackworth. Oh, you're coming in loud and clear. What's the name of it? Is it a Pilot? All right, Love's Truck Stop. That's a pretty good contact right there. I'm going to put that on the map there, Nailbender. And this is Roadblock. I appreciate you coming back to me. You're in the mobile right now? Yeah, man, you're making a good trip out here in Hiram. I appreciate you coming back. I just wanted to test out this wire antenna I have in the tree again. I just wanted to give it another whirl today. I tried it out yesterday, and I didn't try to get anyone and try to get a distance on some of these contacts. All right, Nailbender. I appreciate the contact. You have a good one. This is Roadblock on the side. So here's my takeaway from today's shenanigans. The big Shot Slingshot is amazing. The Forester beanbags and the string, amazing. My knowledge of antennas is not amazing, but I learned a lot. What I did was I screwed up. I shot the bag over the canopy and within the tree, and then I initially pulled the antenna up within the tree, which sandwiched the coax next to the reflective element, shot my SWRs up, but I was not happy with that, so I went back and I spun it around, pulled on the ropes and reattached another extension rope and pulled the antenna up on the canopy. So this is a vertical dipole, but instead of letting the coax dangle next to the reflective element this time, because it was laying on the canopy, it allowed me to pull the coax away from the tree, which allowed my SWRs to drop to 1.8. But now it's, where is it? I don't know if you can see it now. It's right up here, as opposed to like right here. It literally can cut it in half. So now that I have 100 foot of coax and a SWR of 1.8, I can definitely get that down, because I'm going to pull it back down, put a 50-foot coax on it, and put it back up, and I think that'll bring my my SWR real low. And 1.8 is acceptable, but I would like it to be a little better. Also, takeaway: this thing talks. I already got on the radio and talked with all my regular guys from Lithia Springs to Rockmart, all the way Douglasville. This is a wire antenna, probably 18 gauge wires on it, insulated wires. I got off eBay, maybe $45. The thing talks. No tower, no mast, no nothing. The other takeaway is I have an awesome slingshot and I can't wait to use it again. So what I want to do, I have someone that's sending me a radio for a really good deal, Dallas Rife, the man. I'm going to shoot, this is a big old sweet gum. It's about 100 feet tall. I'm going to shoot a slingshot, throw that damn beanbag over that tree, let it fall, And then I'm going to shoot the other side over that tree, let it fall, and then raise up the center to a inverted V. So it'll droop down between the two. I will bring up my inverted V, which I have for HF, and that all-in-one radio, this icon I'm being sent soon, fingers crossed, is going to be a dope inverted V, and I'll bring the two elements off to the side over there. I'm trying to show you with my phone at the same time. So I'm excited. Initially, I was kind of disappointed that I screwed up this antenna, and I was just slacking. But all in all, I learned a lot with this antenna and the radiating elements, and they don't like the coax next to them. And but all in all, it ended up working out. And I'm talking all over the place with a $50 wire antenna that I'm using as a vertical dipole. Kicking butt. Thanks again for joining me, GSN followers. Till next time. By the way, I have 666 subscribers. I don't want this bad juju. Hook a brother up. If you're watching this, please subscribe. I appreciate you. I'll keep bringing more content to you guys. Thank you for joining me on the journey. Till next time.